Hey, SheCasso family, thank you so much for tuning in again into another episode. So, today we're going to be talking about PTSD from previous work environments. So, as you previously heard in my previous videos, my voice is still a little scratchy from this cold that I'm trying to kick, but I still want to be consistent in posting my content. So, if you can bear with me, then we can talk about it. But before we get into it, I just want to just show off this cute dress that I got. So I love this dress. I'm a dress girly. I love dresses. That's my flow. So this is my dress. Completely love it. This is an Amazon find on top of that. I'll plug in the actual store where I got it from. But this was an Amazon find. It has pockets, which are always amazing. And this dress, I like the fact that it can kind of like work with, like if your weight fluctuates, this dress can work with you. Like this dress fits me a little big. It's actually, this is a 2XL, but I actually went ahead and I put a belt on with it just to kind of cinch it in a little bit more to showcase my waistline. Cause yeah, baby, I'm a big girl, but I'm a big girl with a waistline, honey, and I look good. But anyway, Anyway, I just wanted to come on and, of course, discuss that. But like I said, I wanted to get into this fit really quick. Pink is my favorite color. As you can see, when I broadcast anything about SheCasso, everything is pink, pink, pink. But without further ado, let's get into the PTSD from previous work environments. Hey, SheCasso family, thank you so much for tuning in. So, we are here today to talk about PTSD from previous work experiences. Yeah, I said it, PTSD from previous work experiences. Because you know what? People love to just only reference PTSD from childhood experiences and intimate relationships. And actually, I think that one thing that's not discussed is PTSD from friendships or so-called friendships, and definitely PTSD from work relationships and just work experiences. So what inspired this video is a little fun fact is that I got laid off from my job in February. I got laid off in February. So I took these couple of months to just relax. You know, I've been working, for 7 years, for the past 7 years, and at the same place. And outside of that, there were no breaks during the pandemic. There was never hey, take a moment to wrap your mind around what's going on. It was just continue working, So I took this time to just breathe, to just, recenter. And actually, I'm glad I did take this time because I actually was in a movie and I was also in a commercial. So I was able to tap into some other things about myself that, either had been lying dormant or just were not able to be tapped into because I was just consumed with all this other stuff, aka work. So anyway, to make a long story short, like I remember 2 days after I got laid off, I went to go meet with somebody to discuss like business. And while I'm like driving out of the blue on the highway, a rock like legit hit my window, causing it to crack. That's never happened to me. All the vehicles I've had, all the years I've been driving, I've never ever experienced a rock breaking my window, my glass on my windshield. So I just said, you know what? This is interesting. I didn't know what that was about. It was just very interesting. And a couple of other things happened personally that I'm not going to discuss because it's just not everybody's business. But to make a long story short, I've definitely enjoyed myself. I've made great connections. I've, like I said, done some things artistically that I have not, done before, and I would love to continue to do other opportunities in those realms. Met great people, and done some other things within business, and just been having fun. So, but now it's time to be serious. So I have started looking, and in the midst of me looking, I did get an offer. So I got the offer, and I'm not going to front. I'm thankful because I don't want to seem like I'm being ungrateful in 2024 when we're experiencing inflation and all these other different things. But there's a part of me that is like, yes, And there's a part of me that's like, oh, we going back to work. We going back to work. We going back to work. Okay, we going back to work. So, and the reason why I say this is because with me working my last job for the past 7 years, I worked remote. I worked remote, not all 7 years, but I worked remote, I want to say like 5 years. So I had separated myself from the work environment to some extent. I was in my own space. The temperature is the way I want it to be. The lighting is the way I want it to be. If I want to have music on, great. If I don't, that's fine. I was able to work in my own space for all these years and not be bothered. And, sidebar, I think I've actually done more work alone in my own space than in an office space. And I think that if companies realize the benefit of work from home employees, I understand that not everybody is responsible enough to work. But the reality is that most of the time you get more out of that employee because they're more comfortable in their own space. They're not distracted and they're not annoyed. And then on top of that, the company gets to save on their power bill. They get to save on rent. They get to save on so many different things. If all you have to do is worry about having a little storage space somewhere for supplies, or even just having like an office for IT, then come on now, let the math and make that make sense. We're all adults. So nonetheless, like I said, I got an offer. It's a bittersweet experience. Like I said, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but there is that part that's like, ooh, we going back into the office. Okay. And in my walkthrough of the office, it's an office full of women. Sometimes I think that it's helpful to have men and to have that testosterone in the room to break up all of the estrogen and to break up all of the cattiness and all of the things that sometimes happen amongst women that have not chosen each other in their lives but have to work in this work environment. So basically, that's just where it's at. And also too, with my previous job, they laid 251 people off and probably still are laying more people off because they've outsourced everything. So that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother conversation. I think that companies, as consumers, we need to stop supporting businesses that outsource to other countries, but yet they want you to be either their patient or customer as an American, but they don't even want to employ you as an American to make sure that they're also fueling the American economy as well. That's a whole nother conversation. That might be a video for another time, but I just wanted to throw that out there because I actually did reference that, to them as well during that time. So anyway, I thought about some of the triggers from some previous work experiences, and some of them were like, it's like sometimes being at work is like being in high school with other adults, or middle school or elementary school. Like some of the things that happen are just like crazy. Like, how old are we? And what I realize is that a lot of people are miserable. They are so miserable, and they bring miserable energy to the workspace. I think people, like, it should be mandatory that employees go to therapy so that they can manage that somehow and not be in spaces with other people who have nothing to do with the cause of their misery. Like, I work with people that were married and not happy in their marriages. They would come to work and be little saboteurs on the job towards other people, and then also have a whole work husband and a work wife, but when they really got an actual husband and wife according to the state of New Jersey in their real life, like some of the things you just honestly, you just cannot make them up. You cannot make some of the stuff up. Then you're dealing with people who feel inadequate in real life. They don't feel accomplished enough in their own personal endeavors. Sometimes they might have kids that they can't stand, or the kids don't respect them, or you're not seen in their relationships. And, they want to take work as an opportunity to be seen. Some of them have not grown up from being bullies from back in the day and want to display that type of behavior like present day at work. And like, why would you test somebody on the job? This is where somebody's getting paid. Like, anyway. Also, there's a little bit of PTSD from answering to people that were not qualified to be in their positions ever. ever. I had a supervisor whose sister worked in the department at one point in time. And I'm like, what type of nepotism is this being allowed in this work environment? And I brought that to her attention, and she didn't know what nepotism was, number one, which is concerning. And outside of her not knowing what nepotism was, she didn't see an issue with the invasiveness of her sister being, just some of the things that she was saying, along with her just being in the department. Like, I was just like, this is crazy. This is, and even outside of that, she could not even formulate a sentence. Like, when I tell you the amount of grammatical errors that she had in her emails and so on and so forth were just so beyond me. I'm like, this is who we're answering to? This is who we're answering to? What is going on? Or just the levels of clickiness. I noticed, and let me tell you something. I'm gonna say it. I don't care who doesn't like it. I'm gonna say it. As a Black woman in most work environments, I feel like they are just so unhealthy for us. And I feel like a lot of the time, in my experience, sometimes you have other groups of people who only look out for each other, who only have each other's back, who only support each other, who only want to be in unison in terms of just the work flow. I'm not talking about friendship, because we're not at work to be friends. I'm talking about just working. They only want to show up for people that look like them, which is so crazy, and try to make it seem like, someone's the angry Black woman, or make it seem like, they can't work with you, or, make it seem like you're so problematic or whatever, because you might be assertive. Because you're assertive. There's a difference between somebody being assertive and somebody just being flat out rude. It's like people in the clickiness at work is just so beyond me. It's crazy. It is so beyond me. It's so, so crazy. So, and I can say that in a lot of work environments, I can say that I have been isolated as a Black female in those environments, and what I realized even with working from home was, we're all grown, so I'm going to say it anyway. What I realized was that I knew that environment was unhealthy for me because my menstrual wasn't even consistent anymore. It was stressful, feeling like every day you have to constantly defend what you're doing and work with people who are not trying to work with you because they're racist, and because they're biased, and because they're unhappy, and because they're flat out assholes. So, it's just wild to me how, like, this type of behavior is accepted. And outside of that, it took for me to work from home for my menstrual to be regular again. And for the women who are watching this, the men, you might not get it, but as far as the women know, if you don't have a consistent menstrual, 9 times out of 10 is due to stress and due to unnecessary things in your life that, you've got to get a control on and a handle on. So I knew that those environments were just not for me. And I'm also an entrepreneur. If anybody follows me outside of this YouTube channel, and even on this YouTube channel, you probably have seen things that I've marketed in regards to business. When you're in an entrepreneurial mindset, there are certain levels of immaturity, and there's certain levels of conversation that just don't even resonate with you anymore. Like, there's just certain levels of, I don't have the energy for that you embody, that people don't understand. But of course, like with anything, entrepreneurship takes time. It's not a quick fix. It's not okay, just because I have an amazing product, I'm rich overnight. Entrepreneurship takes time. And, also entrepreneurship sometimes takes teamwork. But for me, I'm pretty much still a one-woman show. So that sometimes is conflicting in regards to the status that, I'm trying to get to, and the amount of time that I'm trying to get to the actual status. So, but anyway, let's see. I just had jotted down a couple of notes before this conversation, just to have some reference points, but just to also make sure I wasn't forgetting anything. And then let's not forget to talk about the token Black person in the office. The token Black person in the office, okay? When it comes to work environments, I want to be acknowledged for what I contribute to the department, work-wise. That's it. I don't want you to like me or hate me because of my skin color. I want you to see me for what I contribute. That's it. That's what I'm getting paid for. I don't want to be compensated any less because of what I look like. I don't want to be, basically expected to do more work than others, than the people who are slacking because these are your friends or because they're inadequate and you have no expectation of them. Those are things those are experiences that I'm not looking to be a part of. And when it comes to sometimes the token Black person or the wannabe token Black person in the department, there's usually one person that has the see me factor and looks at you sometimes as another Black human being as competition, which is freaking crazy to me. It's freaking crazy. Like, girl or guy, you can have it, love. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm just here for my cut of the coin and to contribute and to keep it moving. I'm not here to compete with you. And, those individuals who also too they try to sabotage and they try to, outshine and do all this extra stuff that really doesn't get them really any further than what it doesn't. I don't even know what it gets them. What does it get them? I don't know. You could abuse company time a little bit. I don't know. What does it get you? I don't even really know. Those individuals, I don't look to be around them either. And you know what? The reality is this. I know for myself, and I say this not to gloat, but it's just me knowing who I am. I know that I possess a light that a lot of people are either you love it or you don't. I don't really think there's really too much of it in between. It's either you like it or you don't. And a lot of the time, your light has the ability to either just by default dim other people's light and they just feel some type of way, and it shows in how they interact with you and how they show up and so on and so forth. So it's like, work on your own bulb, work on your own wattage. Don't worry about my wattage. Because baby, let me tell you something. When it comes to Whitney's wattage, Whitney's light bulb wattage, this is not something that, has been in effect forever. This is something that has come out of beautiful situations, painful situations, hurtful situations, all types of situations. And, and it didn't just come overnight. So people being jealous over what I got going on, what's stopping you? Don't worry about me. What's stopping you, love? Don't worry about me. Worry about you. Worry about what's on your own plate. Because I'm only worried about what's on my plate. And helping those that truly, really rock with me. Helping those that are like compassionate and good people that really rock with me in my real life. That's it. And, in this pursuit of entrepreneurial success and happiness, I'm just praying to always be in the right spaces and places until I get to that place that are spiritually aligned with who I am as a person. I'm a great person. Anybody that comes across me, like most people that come across me, they gravitate to me heavily. Even people have said to me, you don't even realize how much people really gravitate to you. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I'm sometimes just in my own world, and that's just it, And it's unfortunate because I feel like society forces us to really be so dependent, with all the things going on. It's like, with everything that's going on in the real estate world and how, how home ownership is so complicated now, how even condo ownership is so complicated now, and just all these different factors and inflation and all these other things that are going on. It's, it's just true to the fact that they just want everybody to just be dependent on this system. And the system is not working. The system is not working for people. And it's crazy because even with AI, like, I don't even know how much longer people are going to be able to make it in this flow, you know. But I don't want to get too long in conversation. I try to keep these videos like 10 minutes and below, but this one was more or less something that was like deep on my mind, and I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this because this is really a thing. It's really a thing. And I'm sure that there's plenty more that I could say. And actually, I might even do an interview or just kind of have a conversation with somebody about this specific topic to get another take on it. Because everybody can say, oh, just go to work and mind your business and get your paycheck and get out. When you spend 40 plus hours with people that you did not choose, that's easier said than done, honey loves. Okay, and let's be real, it's easier said than done. And it does not matter what, amount of a paycheck is associated with individuals. If they are not good individuals spiritually, if their spirit is sour, it's going to show through. And that's really just what it is. Anywho, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna watch my show tonight, Sisters. I love Sisters. And if you need any candle making workshops, head to www.SheCasso by WhitneyLLC.com. Please feel free to message me so we can go ahead and coordinate a workshop. I would love to lift some spirits, lift some energy, and teach some classes and bring the vibration up. I also do corporate events as well. So if you work somewhere, and residential events, so if you work somewhere where team building activities are something that is incorporated in the work environment, hit me up. I would love to come and, get everybody lit, keep everybody lit, and just make a fun experience out of it. And you know what? You never know. In that moment, you might learn something about somebody that you work with that you never even knew. And it might change the whole, future of your relationship with that person. So without more being said, I hope everybody has a great night. You know where to find me if you need candles and workshops. And that's it. Peace. And pray for me. Because I ain't been in the office in a long time.